I now call this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club to order. My name is Tristan Miller, the Saucy Sleuth.
I'm Melissa Meli, the spy.
I'm Tyler Riley.
So nice of you to join us.
I'm Tyler Riley, cop and a half.
Today,
right?
Yes! Today's show is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. Just go to audibletrial.com/adctopod and browse the unmatched selection of audio programs. Download a title free and start listening. It's that easy. Go to audibletrial.com/adcpod. We watched today. What did we watch?
We watched the Poirot TV show starring David Suchet and Hugh Fraser.
He back.
And we watched the episode called Problem at Sea.
Problema at the Sea.
I used my Poirot row your boat way too soon.
Yeah,
Had I
you
known
did.
that this
I
was
know.
an episode we'd cover.
Uh-huh. So they're at sea, seemingly on like a cruise.
Yeah,
Just
it's
like
a small cruise ship, from what I can tell.
5 passengers set sail that day for a 3-hour tour.
It's a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah, un poquito.
Yeah.
See.
But it is not one of those big, like, carnival cruise ships you see.
Not like
It's-
Disney cruises.
Right.
Could you imagine if there was a murder on a Disney cruise? How
No.
terrible that would be. For their brand alone.
Yeah.
For their
Well,
brand
then we might be able to
alone.
get that Great Mouse Detective sequel that we've been longing for.
Oh my goodness. Mickey solves the murder. Captain Mickey. Because Mickey is the captain of the Disney cruise
Yeah.
ships, you know.
So Mickey can marry
Actually,
you.
I believe it's
Yes.
Captain Mickey because he's not an official maritime officer again.
Captain.
He is an
He
official,
is an official maritime officer.
officer.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yep. That's the story. It is.
Okay, everyone's gotta settle down. Whoa, boy. Got real tense in the studio here, folks.
Much like
Yep.
in this episode. So when anyone says anything, seemingly.
Seemingly.
Ah!
Waka waka waka.
Excuse me, I have to go.
Okay. Sure.
Oh, because the sea.
Yes, the shore.
Seashore.
Yeah. Wave goodbye, everybody.
We're waving. You can't see because I am actually waving.
So it starts out, and they're hanging out on this boat.
Waving because
Yes.
the waves on the sea. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
why.
Oh man,
We're on a boat.
Yeah.
a boat because
God, it's just hysterics. Okay.
So this is the first time we have tried to record multiple episodes on one day,
Yeah.
and it has gone through. It's quite the ride.
Yeah. Anger, denial.
Yeah, the different stages of podcasting.
So they're on a boat. They're cruising. Hastings is pulling pigeons and shooting at them.
Clay pigeons.
Clay pigeons. Yeah.
So, I have a
important.
question.
yeah,
Clay pigeons are. What are they?
they're like more like discs.
Yeah, they're
right?
discs, but they were originally pigeons to just target practice. What is that musical with clay pigeons? Pull. There's a musical that features clay pigeons. I think it's the Annie Oakley musical.
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
And you get your gun.
Yeah, and it gets your gun. But yeah, basically they're just for target practice. You shoot them on a catapult and you just track them and pop
Okay,
them.
they're discs.
They're
I mean,
discs.
yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
Yeah.
Because, like, I wasn't sure if they were actually in the shape of pigeons, which would be pretty extra.
Yeah, sometimes
would
they
be
are,
extra.
but
Oh,
like,
okay.
but not often because that costs a lot of money.
Well, yeah.
A lot of money to make all those fake pidgeys.
Yeah, you
And
go to
shoot 'em.
Dollar Tree.
Shoot 'em.
Just smithereens.
Yeah, why not just like anything, just like apples? You could just shoot an apple.
Well, a disc is like it's wider.
A disc is
Yes.
wider than an apple. You are correct. Wider. Erp. White Earp, that famous fat cowboy.
Oh.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yes, my name is
More like
Manu.
why it Earp.
Oh my god, I'm so glad that we've gotten into minute 1 of this episode.
So they're on this boat. They're hanging out, and there's this lady that is rude to everybody. Tyler did find his spirit animal.
I found my Patronus.
Yes.
My two-spirit, if you will.
Yeah.
I won't.
She said...
I won't give you that.
Okay.
She will say, she says things like, oh.
Have you ever gotten on your hands and knees and thanked God you don't have children?
Yeah, stuff like that.
She's a very blunt woman.
Yeah.
She's there, her husband, John, who is is he a captain or a colonel?
I don't know.
I believe he's a captain. He's generally a captain.
He's General Captain Lee. He's there. There's another couple. There's these two young women that are fascinated by this general.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is. There's another person.
There's number 2 from Austin Powers.
Yes.
This guy with an eye patch.
Oh, yeah.
That is just...
Hold up. Not an eye patch. He has glasses.
Oh,
and one
yes.
of them's blacked out, which is fascinating. And then there's this woman whose name I don't recall, but who is a single woman that Poirot tries to set Hastings up with, and Hastings fumbles that pass real bad.
This is before, of course, because we've read the book where Hastings meets his wife,
gets married.
This is in the timeline before that.
Yes.
He enters one scene, and Hastings says, "Marriage." Oh.
Do you think about matrimony and goes, "Brah, brah." He actively vomits. The courage of Hugh Fraser to just fully expose his tonsils to the camera in the way that he did. Yartsing all over. The whole 9 yards.
Ew.
Yes.
Is yart a euphemism or like a... okay.
Yeah, for vomiting.
Okay, I've never heard that before.
You haven't never heard of a yart?
Never heard of a yart.
I think that because I'm so close to you right now, it's seeming like every time I look at you, it's very judgmental. But it's actually not. I'm just trying to look at you.
It's very
while you're
tense.
speaking.
Ever since my questioning of Mickey's legitimacy as a maritime officer, I've just felt nothing but judgment. Proximity does not help.
I'm sure it doesn't. By the way, did you know that Disney got permission for their horn, their ship horn on the cruise line to be da, 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 da.
Oh. I was hoping it was just gonna be, oh boy! Just every time.
I thought it was just, yuck.
Gosh. Oh, that's fun. So they're all on this cruise ship, and they play cards. They entertain.
They do not play bridge.
They do not. Well, one group does, but the
fair.
But the general does not.
He's a magician.
Yeah, he does some card tricks.
Yeah, the young ladies think it's great.
Yeah,
it's kind of gross.
How horny do you have to be like a magician? Anything.
Well, I think that's a bit unfair.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, explain to me how.
You know, the unknown can oftentimes be attractive.
Tantalizing with those magic fingies?
Hey, when you say it like that, no. But, like the shy, quiet type, like the air of mystery surrounding a human, and then the fact that, there's something to it.
Yeah. Would you rather be a very successful stage magician or an unsuccessful actual wizard?
Is the fact that I'm unsuccessful meaning I'm bad at magic, or is that nobody knows me?
A little bit of column A, a little column B there.
Definitely a magician, a successful stage magician.
Yeah. You would rather not have magic powers, but have a lot of money. Because basically that's the same thing.
Well, if you're an unsuccessful actual wizard, you're not doing so good at the wizarding.
But you can conjure.
But
what
badly.
Can I conjure? Am I trying to conjure a rabbit and then it comes out with Oh God, I
A
don't
tortoise?
Yeah.
Ah,
Thank you.
I see.
You saved me.
Tortoise in the hair. I see. Yes. Or okay, Matt, you can conjure well, but you're not successful in your chosen wizarding field. So, like, if you work at the Ministry of Magic, say in Harry Potter, you're like not good at your day job, but you can conjure okay.
Okay, then I would say unsuccessful wizard for
Okay.
my personal brand.
So that's so hard because I feel like a wizard with a desk job would be like a very sad existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's most of Harry Potter.
Oh, say most of our existence.
That's also true as well with the desktop. Because it is like one of those things like you'd always get one of those quizzes of like, oh, do you think you'd be a Jedi or a bounty hunter or like whatever?
Yeah.
It's like, no, I would probably just work at Dex's Diner as a server because I don't know. I spent my degree poorly. No. There's a lot of background characters in fantasy and sci-fi novels that we don't take into consider is what I'm saying. And they have rights.
Can you imagine being like Ollivander's like bookkeeper?
Oh, gosh.
That'd have to be like the worst job.
Mm-hmm. This crotchety old man talking about wands. She's like, we just import them. Like, they're just made in
And then
Pakistan.
like, you always have to like worry about like the dark wizards like coming back and like
Mhm.
messing up your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As they do.
Yeah, it goes
Yeah.
pretty poorly. R.I.P. Alhender's bookkeeper, I guess.
Yeah.
Presumably.
Presumably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because doesn't he also die?
He does.
Everyone eats it. They all eat the big one and the...
A lot of people do, yeah.
They take a
And
big
that's
dirt nap.
Funny. Well, not funny. But like the conjuring, like eating the big one. I feel like I would just conjure food and that's why I would be... that's why I would pick the wizarding thing.
Okay,
Like,
would you rather be a wizard?
Accio snack. And then I would just...
Yeah.
Accio snack!
Yeah.
Just any Lunchables nearby funnel into your mouth. I was wondering if bringing up this topic of conversation was going to be worth it. And it was. You could just pick it as yum. Amazing. Would you rather be a cleric, a wizard, or a necromancer?
Wizard.
Can you define cleric?
Clerics are generally tied to some sort of god as well as can conjure magic. So, for example, if you are a cleric of Bacchus, you're really good at partying. And you can probably heal people using song and fun things. If you're a cleric of, say, Athena, you have a great wisdom, and your powers kind of go along with the theme of the god.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Well, seeing as how there is only one god. What were the other options?
Beyonce.
Ugh.
I know. I forgot. You and I are actually on the same boat of Beyonce.
Yeah.
Miss Knowles.
Yeah.
Miss
Knowles Carter.
Oh, no, I was going to say Beyonce No Coward. Is that anything?
Ooh. Okay.
And we get into formation.
I would totally be on board for that. I think. All the single ladies, like this, like little ragtime,
All
like
the
little
single
ditty.
ladies.
Yeah.
All the single ladies. Yes, I'm
That'll
going to do
be
that for my
fun.
next
Okay.
time I have a piano.
I'm into that.
thing.
So it was a cleric.
A wizard or a
Wizard.
necromancer, one who deals with summoning of the dead.
Necromancer, I feel like I would do well amongst the undead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
You
like
would
that
be-
would be like my brand of like dictatorship.
You raise a zombie.
It's just
they're
very
like,
on brand for
Yeah.
me, I feel.
Sure. That's good as well.
I think I would be a cleric, so we have one of each. That's
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
When are we starting our adventuring party?
Yeah. No fighters. Just a lot of people who can conjure and weep.
We're gonna do so good.
Yeah.
Well, I could bring back fighters
Oh,
because
sure.
I can raise the undead.
That is true.
Okay.
That is true.
Get us an army of undead fighters.
Yeah.
Great.
I am the Scorpion King.
Is this? Yeah.
Now
The
we know.
Scorpion King is a necromancer, isn't he? All right. So this boat
Oh yeah, we're on a boat.
and
It's
it's going fast.
There's a woman singer as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's fine.
Yeah.
Who is
Fine.
okay.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
sometimes like dishes out some Rex Harrison level of like talk singing, but it's
Yeah.
okay. It fits.
Sure.
It
I mean,
works.
yeah, they're entertained. People are entertaining themselves and others.
Creepy niece.
Creepy niece.
Creepy niece,
They're
old
eating.
man.
Yeah, they're eating.
There's a lot of eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Which is what
play
you do on a
some
cruise.
cards. They do some magic.
Yep.
Then they the next day they go ashore
Yeah, in Egypt.
in
We
Egypt.
find out.
Mm-hmm. And there's some very interesting racial tension between the English people and the Egyptians, if you can believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great.
But it's indicative of the time. It's
Mhm.
indicative of the time, and that's always something we do bring up how sexist and racist the show is often, and I think it is like not great to watch as with our sensibilities, but it is also accurate,
Yeah.
which is a bummer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a reminder.
I mean, it could take place present day and still be the same.
That's true.
True.
Yeah.
Deep sigh.
So they go ashore, and Hastings and Poirot go to a photographer
Oh,
novel.
it's super
Oh my
strange.
God.
It's very odd. He's
This
odd.
whole episode.
It's very odd indeed. He poses on a camel. Then he poses in some native robes, which is a super cool look for that happening.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Dope.
It's not great.
Yeah, but not a real camel though. It's
No.
like a cutout camel.
Yeah.
The real camel is like watching this happen.
Which is very fun. But they go ashore. The general with the two young women, which is fascinating.
Yeah.
And then
you might be about to say this, but as people are
Barking.
disembarking, yeah, okay.
Deboating.
That is the technical term. Deboat.
Deboat, and then before you get on it is before boating.
So we have guys that are like in like a separate, like a paddle boat, if you will.
Yeah.
They're climbing on top of the boat
Oh,
to like
yes.
sell their or
Wares.
peddle their wares.
Yeah, right.
To the people, and they end up giving,
The single woman.
the single woman, all the single women.
Our single lady, yeah.
She like they accost her to the point where she's like, "Fine, I'll buy
This
all
one.
of your amber
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
necklaces."
leave me alone.
Leave me-
Yeah. And that's before they go out. But she also meets up with Poirot and Hastings and said,
Yeah.
"Did you see the general?" And they're like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Maybe," and she's like, "Well, was he alone?" He's like, "Maybe he was. Maybe he wasn't. I'm not sure." It's like it was with those two young women. He's like, "Yes, it was." I wanted you to say it first.
Yeah.
Pretty
Which
much.
is pretty much. And then from there, they get back, and then the plot begins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay. Well, we
Well.
see. Well.
Well, Nancy
Well.
and I regret what we were doing. Well, Reagan.
Before he disembarks from the boat, before he deboats,
Mm-hmm.
The boat.
we see the captain seemingly talking to his wife,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, "I'm gonna stay,"
Oh right.
and then he's like, "Okay, I'm going,"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
then they leave, and then we see like do you know like when someone's like driving down the road at night,
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
and like one of the headlights is gone?
Yeah.
A padiddle, if you will. It might be a South Jersey term.
That is
Okay.
absolutely
Yeah.
a South Jersey term.
There's a padiddle and there's padimmer. Like padimmer is like when the light's not fully out on one side. It's a padimmer.
Y'all are fun.
So it's South Jersey. You have to have fun where you can find it. And a padiddle is like one headlight is working, the
Yeah.
other one is completely out.
Mm-hmm.
So think of that in terms of his glasses.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So like one is like blacked out and the other is like fine because I guess like he still needs glasses like to see out of
Sure.
the good eye.
He looks like an Indiana Jones villain. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
I say all that to say he's rummaging about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under the ship.
Oh,
Clearly, like trying to clear away trays, quote unquote.
Yeah.
yes. So I was just reminded of an earlier moment that has no real bearing on the actual plot that happens earlier. It's Poirot is with the single woman who and they're like looking at the moon or something.
Oh, right.
And we rewound this like 3 times
Put on closed captioning.
because we could not figure out the word that Poirot said. And we put on the closed captioning, and it still made absolutely no sense. It was
He's like, oh, yes, it looks exactly like a bediddle. Like, is it like,
basically.
What?
I believe
like,
Kokifi. It's what we thought Donald Trump, he
Uh-huh.
was saying.
Oh.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What Gollum said.
So he heard it on an episode of Poirot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Huge fan.
mystery solved.
Huge
gang.
Now we
fan.
know.
Yeah.
Huge fan of the show.
Yeah.
Oh.
Love that little French gent.
Oh man.
What are the good ones?
Mm-hmm. Always solving crime. Mine just turns into a Kennedy every time. I don't know why. I'm a huge fan of Hercule Poirot.
Yeah. Anyway, yes. So
But yeah.
we're fast forwarding in time. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And
We're here. It's the credit sequence. We have to go back. Boom. Okay.
yes, we're getting back on the boat now after spending our day on
Back
shore.
on the boat. Back on the boat. What?
What?
I like how in sync we've got. It's nice. It's gonna be my anyway.
So we're back on the boat, and I don't know what he is, the husband of the unpleasant woman who chose to stay in her room.
John.
Okay.
John.
She's not pleasant.
Fine.
You-
Whoever thinks she's pleasant, say I.
All who think not, say nay.
Nay.
The nays have it.
Oh.
And now we have to whip. And you have to nay. But I'm gonna keep that mic bump in so they know you were doing it. That was pleasing for me. But yeah, no, she is a bit rude, and she's a little mean to her husband, and just grating.
Okay, well, we'll get there.
But at one point, the old man, there's also this old schmuck
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
who at one point says to Poirot, is like, if I had a wife like that, I'd take a hatchet to her. And God! Like, oh!
Yeah.
Even Poirot at the time is like, what?
Yeah.
You cannot be serious. Ugh.
Goodness.
Yeah, so no one likes this woman, which admittedly, I get why. She's not very, nice, but she's not, in the wrong most of the time. And that's what, Tyler's
Thank
video,
you.
she's just, about what she's doing,
Yeah.
but she's just abrasive. And that sucks that, her, fatal flaw that gets her, spoiler alert, murdered. She's the victim.
Yeah.
Do I have to start looking out for knives?
Yes. But it is she's not her fatal flaw is that she's just a mouthy woman in the 20s, which sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the worst thing
Yeah.
about this whole episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we might not get along, but does she deserve to be murdered?
No.
No.
Yes.
Expound
All
on that.
have fallen short of the glory of God. No one is without sin.
Okay, that is accurate.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
This episode brought to you by the Bible Network.
Did you all... Time out, probably going to cut this out. Y'all watch Bibleman?
No.
Do you know what Bibleman is?
No, but I
not.
have watched The Donut Man.
I've watched VeggieTales.
VeggieTales?
VeggieTales
Fair.
is a good
Bible
one.
Man, I'll get to Donut Man in a second.
Okay.
I gotta finish my thing.
Go for it.
Bible Man is a superhero. Do you know that verse of the Bible that's you'll have the sword of the Spirit and that's his whole outfit.
Okay.
And he's an ordinary man that has to go fight Satan.
Oh man, he's not a Bible.
So Jeff Goldblum is trying to figure
Jeff
out.
Goldblum is the
No.
guy? Okay.
Jeff Goldblum is trying to figure out teleportation, and he accidentally leaves a Bible in the other teleport machine, and he gets. I seem to have been turned into Leviticus, the worst one. All these rules. It's boring. Anyway, no, he just goes and fights Satan and his cronies.
That's fair.
In the city. What is Donut Man?
It was a show on, like, it wasn't the Bible Network at the time. It later became the Bible Network. But it was this guy who just taught lessons from the Bible, and there was, like, a donut puppet that would also... I'm not making this up.
Okay, so here's the thing. I do remember, like, a lot of donuts. That was in the Bible, I mean. I remember a lot of donuts being in the Bible. That's what God sent down from heaven for the Israelites, yes?
Yeah,
in
for
the,
sure.
In the desert, yeah. A bunch of Krispy Kremes.
Yeah, sing-along songs and stories. And you see the man and the donut.
Oh, wait. Yes!
Yeah, see?
Yes! I
The
do
donut
know
man.
that.
I have not seen this
Yeah.
thing.
Oh,
It looks
wow.
like a the donut looks like a Jim Henson Muppet.
Amazing.
But yeah, it was they told us stories about the Bible.
Did you
As a donut is wont to do. Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of donuts. I don't know if I grew up Lutheran. A lot of donuts at church. You guys as well? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes. There
Okay.
were sometimes. I grew up United Methodist.
Okay.
Womp womp. No, they did a bad thing recently.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Like they won't let openly gay people be pastors anymore.
Anymore, so they were fine with it.
Are people like grandfathered
Ostensibly, yeah.
in, or like
I don't know.
you're just okay?
It's not good.
Mm.
And I grew up in a United Methodist church. Actually, my dads were married in one. So
Okay.
Yikes. How the turntables. She's been murdered.
Yes.
She's
Knife through the thorax.
Yeah, right in her chest.
Yeah.
The poor like essentially porter of the first mate, I assume.
Yeah.
Had to do the autopsy. And she's like, he's been stabbed. And like they're like, duh. And he's like, I only have my first aid training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh no. And they're like, go ahead.
The captain of the ship says to Poirot, hey, would rather not get the Egyptian police involved in this. Can you solve this? Which, you know.
Fair.
All right. We're on the seas. Who knows?
Yeah. And during their investigation with the autopsy, he says, when was she murdered? It was like 10 o'clock, give or take 2 or 3 hours. So it's like a window of either 7 a.m. or 2 p.m. No,
Sure.
1 p.m.
1 p.m., yeah.
Which is like, that's a huge chunk.
Yeah.
So they go on an investigation. He goes around, he rounds up all the people, and he starts interviewing them like he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots of interviews. And then our single woman friend. So when they found the body, there was beads on the ground. And immediately the husband says, oh, these, street peddlers.
Yeah.
Must have, yeah.
Thanks, President Trump, or whatever.
Yeah. Trump is an ageless monster that was president of the United Kingdom during that time. He could be. I don't know. I don't believe in lizard people, but I do now.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair. So,
Odd take, but okay.
maybe he's a Doctor Who alien.
Yeah, from the Rexicoricophallopatorius. Yeah, the Slovene family that fart to death. Yes. I hope that is what happens. First season Doctor Who, I miss it a lot. A lot of silliness. There's a lot of farting in that episode. Hello, everybody. It's Tristan Miller, the Saucy Sleuth. I want to thank you for listening. Sorry we got really off track this episode. It was, we were all tired. I don't know what to tell you. Daylight savings time. Oops. I want to thank
the Scavengers Network for putting us on. You can go to scavengernetwork.com and check out all the fine programs there, like Historical Hotties, Spooky Spouses, and some other alliterated goodness. We're adding a few more shows lately and trying to do more online content, so go check us out there. And also on YouTube at Scavengers Network. Ba-ba-ba. Nice. I want to also remind you that you can go to audibletrial.com/adcpod for your free audiobook today. We really enjoy using Audible here at the Amateur Detective Club, and we hope that you will join us in doing so. You can support this program and others like it by going to patreon.com/Tristan J. Miller, and we have a bunch of new tiers there. You get to pick a topic of an episode for a bonus episode if you donate a certain amount. I believe it's $5 a month. It's pretty low-key. And then also, if you're interested in stand-up comedy at all, there's a package deal for tickets. If you're in the New York area and you pay $50 a month, you get free tickets to all my shows that I do monthly. And that's, I think, a decent value. If you're not interested in that and just want to support and just do that, there's also a bunch of exclusive content like bonus episodes and some other things that we're going to be implementing further out in 2019. Yeah, thank you very much for listening again, and hope to hear from you real soon.
Anyway, yeah, they round up, so there's beads that were fallen, and then they're like, oh, wait a minute. Who else had the beads?
Our single lady friend.
Yeah, so they interview her, and she's like, but no.
But I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Why would I have done it?
It doesn't make a darn bit of sense. So they interview her, they interview the general, and he was like, I was
hanging out with these women.
These very young women.
The Weans.
Yeah.
The brothers. the Weans brothers.
Oh, that would have been a great episode.
Can you imagine Key and Peele directing a Poirot movie? I would love that.
That would be great.
That'd be so good.
Jordan Peele, we know you listen.
Yeah.
If you could make that happen.
But Keegan Michael Key is not a fan. But Jordan Peele is.
Yeah. I totally see that.
The two genders. Jordan Peele and Keegan Michael Key. Made myself laugh.
Jordan Peele as Poirot?
I don't think we're ready for Black Poirot. Hot take, I know.
Oh.
Can I tell you? I saw... Okay, so there's recently a version of Agatha Christie's ABC Murders.
Okay.
And do you know who they got to play Poirot? John Malkovich. It makes no sense. He does not have a mustache. He has a full beard. He is bald and 6'1". There is no way that my Poirot. I am deeply offended by this schmuck coming in here and trying to pretend to be my favorite detective.
Hashtag not my Poirot.
Hashtag not my Poirot.
Wow.
I don't
there
enjoy
are
him.
Feelings.
I do not enjoy it. I do not enjoy him.
Okay.
So, they're on this boat, and the murder happens. We already done it. He was like, I was with those ladies the whole time. They interviewed the other couple, I think, too. They're like, no, because they saw them. And, like, so it very quickly gets narrowed down.
Yeah.
But the parlor reveal...
Oh, yeah.
Is...
the best kind of reveal.
Immaculate.
Oh, yeah.
So they all get summoned into the parlor of the ship.
Yeah, this is where the piano is and stuff, and where they have all their nighttime entertainment.
Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't somebody performing and they stopped the performance?
The colonel, the old man, was doing poetry. Fascinatingly.
Yeah. He was reciting poetry.
Yeah. By the way, there are a lot of very interesting acting choices in this episode.
Oh,
Highly
gosh,
recommend
yes.
just watching. Because like, they're not quote-unquote bad, but they are like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Poirot gets up there.
He does.
With a suitcase.
And he says...
A covered suitcase.
He goes, voila, a suitcase. How boring. It's so good. And everyone's like, okay?
David Suchet is chewing some scenery in this scene.
Oh, it's so good.
Amazing.
And everyone's reaction was so wonderful because it was just so realistic. That he would just be like, what is happening?
What is happening? And he pulls from the suitcase a doll.
A terrifying
porcelain doll, brings it up to his face like.
Oh yeah, and there's
He
a
almost,
super close up.
Yeah.
And he like almost nuzzles the doll.
And he's like, this doll can talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, okay. And it's like, oh, the doll, what did you hear that day? And the voice comes from the doll.
Yeah.
And it says the conversation that that the husband had with the wife, John had with his wife.
Yeah.
Before they left.
Yep.
Yeah, and John gets really scared, and he stands up, shaking, sweating, probably farting too.
Probably.
We don't know.
I mean, I assume.
Yeah, when one shakes and one sweats, one farts as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
He lets it go. He lets it rip.
Yeah. So he goes to run out of the room.
Yes.
And then people detain him.
Yes.
And he says, "Yes."
Yeah. That is, yes. That is what he says.
Not, yeah, it was me. Not anything other than, yes. Okie doke.
I think this woman literally drove him mad. I think there was something going on.
Okay, we are being real hard on this woman.
No, well, like, you don't, it's probably his fault as well. Like, when you have a toxic relationship, it's generally, like, sometimes there's, like, a give and take, or, like, the way it works. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds here, but, like, the circumstances have to be specific. So I'm not saying she would drive everyone mad, but I think she drove him to kill her, so that's not a normal, sane thing to do.
Sounds a lot like victim blaming.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, sure, okay.
But yeah, that's basically
it. That's the episode.
That is the episode.
What would you rate this episode and why?
So the parlor reveal
10.
is
10 out of 5.
10 out of 5. It's the best thing ever.
Every time there's a ghost in a Poirot story,
Yes.
I'm about it.
Pretty much any time he gathers the entire cast of characters in a room and does a presentation, it is peak Poirot. It is perfect, gold, immaculate. Everything is happy. Especially if he's... Oh, I guess we didn't mention the fact that the John was a ventriloquist. So he threw his voice, and so he made it sound like his wife was responding to him when she was already in there dead. Yeah. Okay, now you get it.
Yes.
We did kind of just sail right past that. I can pun too sometimes. I have pun.
Did you pontificate on that?
Uh-huh. So the parlor reveal is a 10 out of 5. The episode itself, 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah, like a 3.5, I guess. There's wild acting choices, which is actually pretty fun for me.
It was a pretty funny episode. We laughed a lot.
Yeah, we did.
And I think it's intentional. Like, it's meant to be a funny episode.
Yeah. I mean, I made even edge toward a 4. Maybe it's a 3.75. Yeah, I had a good time. I was extremely sleepy.
Yeah.
Because we're never recording after spring daylight savings time again.
No.
That was a terrible decision on our
I didn't
parts.
realize it was.
Neither did I.
Yeah, we goofed it.
Yeah, we did, but...
So if we're all on board, we're never doing this again on daylight savings time, say aye.
Aye. Okay.
It's a fun bit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You miss it? Do you just lie?
I missed it.
You just lie awake at night.
Like, I miss I. I would say a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
This was fun and weird enough to keep my interest.
Yeah.
I did not know the murderer.
Right, yeah.
Until very late into the episode, where I had like a bit of a suspicion, but even then I was still very unsure.
Yeah.
So yeah, it fooled me. I thought it was just wacky, weird, and wonderful. So 4 out of 5.
I agree. 4 out of 5. We did not talk a lot over this one. We
No,
talked
we
a
didn't.
lot over the one previous.
Yeah.
And this one, we were very silent.
Because things happened.
Yeah, you had to pay attention
You
to
had
it,
to pay
which
more
was
attention
nice.
to it. And also, I think we were collectively more sleepy.
Yes.
We used a lot of energy on that last episode.
Mhm. I was hopping and bopping around. I was sweating. I was doing voices. You ever record a podcast and just regret?
Okay. I know you have.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about the episode before we wrap it up?
No, I'm good.
All right. Then I now call this meeting to being done. So.
Gavel sound.
Keep coffee.
What?
It was the sound of the.
Oh,